Hi everyone, welcome to my living room for another Monday fun day. It's kind of funny because usually spend all week trying to think about what I'm going to talk about. I feel sorry for the people who do this every day for a couple of hours. Radio people must have an impossible job to sit and talk for hours and hours every day and always sound interesting, because I spend a lot of time trying to think about what I'm going to say for like 15 minutes. Um, so this is one thing. I kind of want to use this program to kind of share things that I like, that I find interesting. Maybe lots of people won't find them interesting, but I do. This is the fun thing that I get to do. Um, One thing that always amazes me as I read more and learn more and do more as I get older, basically older and wiser, that lots of people, almost any topic, someone's thought about it, someone's made a name for it. And so I'm always surprised when things have names. And so I love to find out the fact, if I find out that something that I've always thought of as this, it's this widget and it actually has a name and it's been around for a long time, that actually always amazes me. And I don't know if it's snobism to use the proper name for things. I don't think so. And in fact, I think it just makes the whole world a little smarter, because then someone else has to ask, what exactly is he talking about? And it's like, oh, okay, I know what that is. It has a name. And so this is what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to share one of those fascinating things that I found that maybe lots of people know about. Maybe nobody's heard that there's actually names and things like this. But anyways, we're going to talk about the 5 mother sauces of cooking. I love cooking, and so I enjoy playing in the kitchen all the time. You can probably see how much I love eating. I love cooking good food. I love eating good food. And what I found out is that, of course, most good cooking comes from France. And so France is famous for its cooking. France, so lots of the things, if you read about chefs and what they do, lots of their techniques come from France. Lots of the words they use come from French. For example, you don't have, when something's when you organize your kitchen, when you're preparing to cook something and you cut everything and put everything in bowls, it's actually called misapplause, which means everything in its place. And so you can use this to talk about that you're ready to start cooking something. So it's not that you're cooking something and cutting something, but everything's all cut, everything's all prepared, everything's all organized. It exactly means everything in its place, mise en place. And so this is kind of fun that that you have that. I have to look at the phonetic spellings because I call it mise en place, but it's actually mise en place. And so we're going to talk about the 5 mother sauces. So there's 5 basic sauces for French cooking. Now, all of these sauces have derived sauces, which are called daughter sauces. So this isn't all, if you do something else to make it a little different, then use this as the base sauce. So this kind of helps you with basic cooking, because then you can play with these a little bit. And you can think what you want about the French, but the sauces are pretty nice. So we're going to start with some of the first sauces, and I hope I'm going to get some spelling up here to be able to get things. Because our first sauce is a bechamel. Now, bechamel, it's a white sauce. Okay, so what you use, it's a milk-based sauce. So it's basically milk and white roux. Roux spelled R-O-U-X, in case I don't get the spelling up. So roux, now, first of all, you have to say, okay, I know what milk is. It's cow juice. But what's a roux? And so a roux is flour and some kind of fat. So usually butter, maybe you can have lard, maybe you can have something else, bacon grease would be okay, but usually butter. So that's what you have. So you have a white roux, and then as you melt the butter, mix the flour. Now, a white roux means you don't cook it very long, so it still stays white like the flour. So that's a bechamel. It's just basically milk, and then you add this oil and flour mixture, butter and flour, and then you get this nice creamy sauce. Our next sauce is called an espanol. Espanol, and it sounds something Spanish to me, but this is a dark brown sauce. And of course, I would call the first one like a white gravy. This I would call, of course, brown gravy. This is what we call it. But espanol is a dark brown sauce. Okay, and so what you do is you need a dark brown roux, which is your same flour and butter, but you're going to cook it much longer until it starts turning brown. Easy enough. And then you're going to use beef stock or some kind of stock, which stock is just usually like boiled bones. And so there's special ways of making stock with vegetables and stuff like that, meat and vegetables. But as far as I can tell, and everything I've read, and I've tried this before, you just use the bones. So brown stock has baked bones. So first you cook the meat, you collect the bones, and then you boil them in water to get a nice dark brown sauce. And so this will be your espanol. It's a nice browny sauce. And that's kind of nice. So we have like a white sauce and a brown sauce. And so since we have a white one with milk and roux, we have a dark one with dark roux and dark stock. I know what everyone's thinking. We need something like in between. And so we have a veloute. I'm not sure, veloute, I always say veloute in my head. And so this is a very light sauce, something between the two. So what we have is we have a blonde roux, which means that it's just slightly cooked until it starts yellowing a little bit, but not quite brown. Now we use a light stock, which means that you have unroasted bones that you use to make your stock. So to get the dark stock, you first bake your bones, then you make your stock. Here, I guess you use raw bones. I've personally never made this, so I don't know what that's going to be like, but it makes sense. So now I would call this light brown sauce. And so I guess if you want to make your cooking a little more interesting, instead of saying that, oh, we have chicken with a light brown sauce, you can say, we have chicken with veloute. Wow, sounds great. Now, next one actually has a normal name. And this is tomato. Tomato. There's some probably French word that I'm going to ignore because it's finally, I mean, this is English, so we don't need too much French in here. Now, tomato, you would think, oh, I know how to make tomato sauce. You just throw a bunch of tomatoes in a pot and cook them until it's done. Yeah. That would be not French enough. And so we need to make a mirepoix. Mirepoix. Okay, so a mirepoix is just a mix of 3 vegetables. And so it's onions, carrots, and celery. And you mix them, chop them up pretty small. You mix them to a ratio. You need 2 parts onions, 1 part carrot, 1 part celery. So it's a 2-1-1 ratio. And you're supposed to cook them for a long time at low temperature. All of these vegetables have a lot of sugars in them, complex carbohydrates that need to be released by the heat. Only you don't want to caramelize them, so you don't want to turn them brown, but you just want to make them release all the sugars. And so then you use this as a base with your tomatoes, and then you can add other things. So tomato is a wonderful sauce like that. Hey, Daisy. She's been running around all morning. We just got new curtains, and I don't know if she likes the curtains. Hi. Cats are cats. Okay, our 5th and last sauce for today is called hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise. In this, I know in America we use this for eggs Benedict, so it's used in lots of cooking. Yes, it probably, I was reading a little bit of history, and it probably came from Holland, but nobody's exactly sure. They were talking about a French person who was exiled to Holland and came back with cool recipes, and so I guess they were like, oh wow, you came back with recipes, so we're going to let you back in the country because you made a cool sauce. And so this one's a little interesting chemically speaking. If anyone says that chemistry is not useful in life, this one is actually kind of fun. Okay, and hollandaise sauce is actually an emulsion. So you need, it's a mix of butter, lemon juice, and egg yolks. Okay, now normally oil and water don't mix. This is one of those fun things that you can do all this stuff. Oil sits on the top of water, and they don't like mixing. Even if you shake them, after a while they separate again because they don't mix. What you need is an emulsifier. What is an emulsifier? Is something that can mix with both water and with oils. And so this can mix with both of them. There's different emulsifiers, of course. And so some mix better with oils and not as good with water, and some mix better with water and not so good with oils, but the basic property that they will mix with both of them. And so what you use, butter and lemon juice, don't really want to mix because butter is mostly fat, lemon juice is mostly water, and so they don't want to mix. When you add the egg yolk, then it becomes this magical mixture. Now, as you make your hollandaise sauce, you want to make sure that you don't curdle the egg yolk. So you need to cook it over very low temperature. Sometimes you use a double boiler to use this. And so it mixes, but while staying liquid. So you need to cook everything very slowly so that way nothing makes clumps and clunks and chunky. You don't want to curdle it and make it chunky. So you want to be nice and smooth. So, if you want to act, I guess, maybe a little more professional, sometimes you can do things to make your life just sound a little better. I mean, I love using big words, even if I don't understand what they mean exactly, because, photosynthesis and all. And so it's just wonderful to throw something in. But actually, when you start cooking, sometimes you can learn that, wow, for 400 years, people have been making this kind of sauce. And then there's all these derived sauces. So all of these 5 mother sauces, we have Bechamel, Espanol, Veloute, tomato, and Hollandaise. So those are the 5 basic sauces. And of course, there's all kinds of derivatives. So there's a whole list of daughter sauces that you can learn about. And so this is just kind of a fun way to make your cooking more exciting, I guess, and to make your life more exciting. And plus, it kind of sounds cool. Instead of, oh, I'm using a light brown sauce, you say, oh, I'm using a veloute. Oh, I need some more bechamel sauce for my hamburger. Yeah, kind of sounds fun. But like I said, I don't know if it's snobby to use the right word. I guess as long as I use it calmly and without pretension, that's good. Thank you very much for watching Monday Funday. For those of you who watch it, I kind of have fun making these. So one of these days I'm going to share some stuff with 3D printing, or I might even show some cooking. One thing, I love cooking steaks, so I might have to fry up steaks in the morning and then eat fried steaks for breakfast, which sounds like a wonderful idea, and I think I might try and do that sometime. Well, thank you very much, and have an excellent week. Bye-bye. Daisy, say bye. Say bye. Bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Oh, she bites me. Okay, bye-bye.